In this video, we're going to go ahead and replace our driver's side power window regulator located inside your driver's front door. The process for this is the same for the passenger side. Now, on the leading edge of our door panel is a piece of trim right here. We're going to use our trim tool. We're going to get in behind it here, and we're just gently going to pry this outward and pop the plastic buttons that are holding this in. Pop that off and set it aside. The next spot I want to go to is right behind our door handle pull here, this little cap right here. I want to go ahead and pop that off. Use a trim tool, pop that off, set that aside. Power control module switch right here. I want to go ahead, pop this cover up, and work our way around. I'm going to pull this up. I want to go ahead and disconnect our harnesses here. So you're just going to pinch in on the tabs here. Disconnect that. And on this side here, there's a single tab you're going to pinch and pull and set this aside. I'm going to go ahead and remove this pad right here. We're gently going to pull up. And you're just going to be releasing the clips on the back side here. I'm going to set that aside. There's going to be 3 Phillips head screws, one here, and the third one is up in the door handle pocket up top. Let's go ahead and loosen and remove all 3 of these. I want to go ahead and pull our door panel off. We're going to use our trim tool. We're going to work our way around the edge here, and what we're going to do is gently start to pull. And we're going to undo the plastic buttons that are securing this to the door shell. Go ahead and pop these off. Now at this point, we want to go ahead and lift up on our door panel. On the back side here, I want to pay attention to these cables. Basically going to pop those out and swing that out and disconnect that. I'm going to do the same for the one up above. On the bottom side, you're going to have your light right here. I'm going to pinch down on that little tab and want to disconnect. Here we go. Disconnect our lower light, and your door panel is now free. Go ahead and set that aside. Now I want to go ahead and start disconnecting our cables here. So we have a connector right here. So use my pocket screwdriver, press on that tab, pop that out. I want to make sure we have our harness that will be clear. Our next step is to go ahead and remove our water shield from the door. You want to be careful with this here. There is an adhesive going all the way around the perimeter. I'm going to try and separate this. You want to try and do this without tearing the plastic. If you do run into an issue, simply grab a razor blade, be super careful, and you can work around cutting the adhesive and pulling this away. You're going to continue to do this all the way around the perimeter here. I'm going to pull our cables through. So at this point here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my razor blade and I'm going to cut a little slit right here in the water shield. This is going to allow me to go ahead and pull this off. The reason why we did that makes it easier. Otherwise, you'll be disconnecting all of our harnesses here, up here, our mirror side, and then down below to all of the connectors down below. Let's go ahead and take your control module here, and we're going to plug this in and just let that hang for now. Now at this point, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and raise up our window a little bit. And the purpose for this here is we want to go ahead and disconnect the bolts securing the glass to the regulator. That's why I went ahead and connected our master switch here. Let's go ahead and power this up. You can see one of the bolts right here. On the other side, it's going to be accessible through this rubber plug right here. So what we're going to do is use our trim tool, pop off the rubber plug. If we raise this up right there, we can access the 10mm bolt here, the 10mm bolt here. Let's go ahead and loosen those. I'm just going to loosen these. We're not going to remove these yet. At this point here, the clamps are now loose and the glass is able to be pulled up and out of our regulator. Now what we can do is we can actually put the key back in. We're going to power this up and push our glass all the way up into its fully seated position. Power this up. Now we have that seated. You can do one of two options. I'm going to use our suction cup with a cable, or you can run a piece of tape or several pieces of tape across the top. Just pretty much stick to the glass, and this will hold the glass in place while we lower the regulator. Now let's go ahead and unbolt our regulator from the door itself. Let's go ahead and loosen and remove our 10mm bolts holding the regulator. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect our harness right here and use our little pocket screwdriver, press up on this little tab, pop that out. With that disconnected, go ahead and grab our regulator. We're going to lift it up, pull this bolt up, push that back. We can collapse this down. Pull out our regulator with the motor. We want to go ahead and install our window regulator. Slide this in. And what I'm doing here is I'm lining up that bolt on the top right here. Dropped it in. That holds the whole unit in place. Then go ahead and expand this down. What I'm going to look for now is this rubber boot right here with this other connector. This rubber boot pops through. I'm going to come back to this side here, and it has our horizontal beam. We're going to line that up and get these tabs installed back in the door shell. Let's go ahead and start putting our bolts in. Once we get all these bolts installed, we'll go ahead and snug them down. Now we have our regulator secured. Let's go ahead and power this up. So let's go ahead and plug in our power window motor. Raise that regulator up. Now we have the regulator supporting the glass. Let's go ahead and remove our suction cups here, or your tape if you have that. We should be able to Lower the glass down. At this point here, you want to go ahead and get that glass lined up with the eyelets on the regulator. So we're going to reach up inside and we're going to slowly lower this down. Just got to line up our glass and our track here. And do the same through this hole here. Make sure you can see the track. And get our bolts installed here. Might have to raise and lower that regulator just a little bit to get things to line up just right. And once you get both of those started, I'm going to go ahead and snug those down. Let's go ahead and test it. Make sure the glass goes up and down fully, nice and clean, smooth. Beautiful. At this point here, let's go ahead and disconnect our connector here. So now go ahead and install our water shield here. I want to make sure we can feed our connectors and everything through where they need to go. So we're going to first feed our cables through the top. I'm going to go ahead and we'll start a baseline of getting this lined up where we believe it was. And as we go around, we're going to feed our cables through where they should be. I want to go ahead and press this down. And it's okay if you have to readjust it, just peel it off, re-stick. Now for some reason, if this is torn or the adhesive is no longer there, you can simply use tape. Install the rubber plug. Let's go ahead and install our door panel. Don't forget to connect your light down below. Snap that in. Let's go and install our cables here. Bring that over, snap that in. Do the same for this one. I'm going to go ahead and connect our connector here. Now let's go to hang the top of the door on the top of the door shell. Now that we have our panel latched on the top here, let's go ahead and work our way around, snapping in the plastic push pins around the door. Once that's secure, let's go ahead and install our 3 screws. Go ahead and snug that down. I'm going to snug those in pretty tight. Grab your armrest here. Go ahead and line this up. Snap this down and into place. Once that's in place, let's go ahead and install our master switch here. So you have to keep that lock released on the back side. Push this in, and then press that lock in on the back. Install our switch on the front. Snap that down into place. Going up to your door handle here. I'm going to go ahead, set this in. Just use your thumb and you can snap that into place. I'm going to install our upper trim panel right here.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.